As our story begins, we ask you to come with us on a far journey. A journey that takes us millions of miles from the Earth, where the planet Krypton burns like a green star in the distant heavens.
Krypton.
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 Krypton. Krypton.
Welcome to the Krypton After Show, the final Krypton After Show. Yeah, I know. It's just devastating.
Everyone, all of our fans are
crazy
very
that they canceled Krypton already after only a few episodes. I would have thought. Yeah.
Well, you guys, we did it. We made it to episode 5. Eric is a ghost.
Guys, that's why we killed Eric. Eric died, so we have to...
Took a little bit. We had to resurrect him.
Yep.
Cast some spells, but he's back.
I'd like to pour a little out for my homie Eric, who's clearly a ghost.
Yeah. Well, what'd we think?
Of?
Who cares?
So the episode.
You liked it.
Is this? That's not mine.
There was a lot happened that... Here's the thing. I would say that more happened than in the episode than you thought at first, because in retrospect, there were a lot of dramatic moments in the episode.
Oh, yeah.
I think sort of during the run of it, anyone who caught our watch along might have noticed that we were like, meh, nothing's really going on. But then in retrospect, people died, people were killed,
One
betrayal
person
happened,
died.
two people died.
No one we cared about.
Who was the other one?
The guy who was left for dead in the snow with the only one oxygen mask.
Oh, right. Yeah, but that was like a past death.
Yeah, we didn't even know who he was.
It was her
brother.
Yeah.
Everything is a past death.
I think it just was...
Kind of a good point. Did it just happen? It happened in the past? No. Great.
Death happens. No, I just think it was a very convoluted way to get there. I'm excited about the future of it. Thank you, Ghost Eric. But yeah, I just think the ride along the way wasn't as fun as the ultimate destination.
I see what you're saying.
I'm still holding out. We had the first episode. We had boning. We've had 0 bones, and it's been 5 episodes now. What's happening?
You say boning utterly ceased?
But
There's been none.
There was a lot of smooching and stuff.
There was boning in the first episode. We didn't get...
Smooching is not boning.
It's not. I don't know.
Listen,
we do know that Zod has a kid.
Line.
That
Right?
she's a mama, so we know that some boning either is. Well, I guess it might.
Well,
be.
I think it was probably
so
her and
Mama Zod
her
is actually
the other
Grandma
dude.
Zod.
Oh, you think it's
also-
Debem is the daddy?
I think so. I mean, and I'm just pointing out an observation just by genetics. I mean, if you look at the nationalities of people,
You're
that
saying
would
because
make
he's
the
black?
most, yes,
Let's be
that would make
overt.
the most sense.
Be overt.
I mean, right? I mean,
We're
Yeah.
skating a
Well,
very
I would
thin
also,
line
is there
here,
not,
just so you know.
it is clearly possible in the world of Krypton, in fact, probable, that babies exist without boning having occurred. Because they're grown in a... So when in this episode, spoiler alert, but obviously you saw the story watching After Show, he sort of surprises her with, I'm your son, you're my mother. Presumably she can be surprised because she didn't actually, like, get pregnant and give birth at any point.
well, she also doesn't know because if he's from the future, then she. You know
Yeah,
what
but
I
you
mean?
would still know if you pooped out a kid. If that kid then lived
Not
in
if
the
you're
future and time
supposed to
traveled
Just
poop
back.
out
another
the
man
kid.
Oh,
trying to
later.
figure out the
Future.
female
Future,
experience.
you're totally
Right.
right. Sorry. Yeah.
This is bullshit.
So Zod, the lady Zod,
Yes,
the,
Ghost
the
Eric.
mother Zod,
Yes.
is actually Grandma Zod.
Yes, she's a grandma.
So she's Mima.
Mimazad.
Nanazad.
Yeah.
Nanazad.
Well, the other thing they don't really talk about is, you know, these little like test tube hologram babies. Is there an accelerated growth program that can kind of happen for these kids?
I don't think so.
It's like, you know, like The Island, where it was just like you're full grown Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson, but you're actually only 3 years old. Is
So
that
he's
a
sort
thing
of like,
that
they
happens?
cooked me too long.
Maybe. I don't know if that's a thing that happens.
Somebody burned the eggs, you know what I mean? Sorry.
Yes, Ghost Eric?
The clone army in Star Wars Attack of the Clones.
That too.
Are they accelerated?
Yeah, they are. It only takes like.
Yeah, they say that when
Josh,
they go
what
to...
is that? How long is the growth rate of them? Because it doesn't take them the full like.
The Clone Army and Attack of the Clones.
14 years.
Of the Jango Fett.
Yeah, when they go tour...
Yeah.
When
so,
Yoda
like,
tours the complex, they explain it to him or something.
Yeah,
because
because it's not a 30-some-year-old clone is not actually 30-some years old. He's actually like
He's
months
also
old or years old.
Strangely New Zealandish.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Because he's hot, whatever.
So, yeah, this is also a pretty Seg-light episode.
Oh, yeah. And
Like,
Adam
didn't
Strangelite.
care.
And Adam Strangelite. Adam Strange
Didn't miss him.
Yeah, didn't miss him. Nope.
Didn't miss him.
Nope.
So by and large, do you think that's a reaction to, like, as you, our viewers, are noticing, like, you're caring more about the arc of your Zods, your whatever, do you think that's a bit of a reaction where they're like, hey, it turns out that that's not necessarily...
Ghost Eric is causing a lot of commotion
Ghost
back
Eric
there.
is struggling, too. I like that. Normally, ghosts hover, like, seamlessly.
Yeah, but not... No.
It's pretty much the opposite.
This is what happens when you suffer a violent death.
Yeah.
Listen, I would love to assume the best and assume that there was some sort of intention.
That they're actually...
However,
sensing,
I'm
hey,
more
you know.
inclined to think that this was just incredibly imbalanced script and an imbalanced story arc, and it was just like...
I feel like he must have just had a conflict in his shoot dates, and that's probably honestly what happened.
That's gonna be, yeah, could be.
I think, and honestly, the other characters are more fun. So if you're editing that or writing that, you're just going to be like, I'd rather focus on other people who aren't Adam Strange or Seg. So
Also, the dad making out with that chick was very American Beauty, and it really freaked me out.
First off, she
Like,
looks 17.
Yeah.
If you're going to get somebody younger than you to make out with, she shouldn't look underage. That chick totally, no. Shut it down, shut it all down.
Are we sure that's the same like statute of limitations age on Krypton?
I do think that the age of consent in Krypton is up for debate.
Because again, they don't
Listen, if it changes state by state here, it can change planet by planet, intergalactic.
There's only one city, man.
Especially if maybe, but it could be even grosser because if there is a increase in age,
only like,
she could be like 3 days old.
Oh, I see what you're saying there.
Too far, too far.
Thank you, Ghost Eric.
More horizontal.
Cut to wings.
How about we check out a previously on?
All right, why not?
Let's do that.
Let's check out this.
Now that we've really
By the way, this is a
accurately
very
recapped
special
what happened.
previously on.
Yeah.
So you know.
Let's do that while I sober up.
Let's check it out. Oh, that's gonna happen.
I don't think that's gonna
Not
happen.
gonna happen.
Previously
I can do it.
on Krypton.
Oh my god, the music.
Jody, feel free to take this the wrong way, but I love you. Jody!
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh, you did it.
Not to derail Krypton, but
You did it! How
but
dare
you know,
you?
you were the best judge and magician.
And magician.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, by that rationale, to loop it in, Harry Anderson could have defeated Superman, being that
Oh, yeah.
magic is the only thing that works on
Magic
Superman.
is.
And you need a magician to defeat Superman, so R.I.P. Harry Anderson.
And to transition smoothly, speaking of magic defeating Superman, this is Superman's 80th anniversary. So for our final episode, I feel like we're gonna not just focus on Krypton, but also
birthday.
go Superman, go for it.
No.
Oh, you're done. As well as we'll also get into Superman's storied and sordid history.
Sure.
Yeah.
Real quick though, I just want to say that like Night Court has a special place in my heart because I'm old enough to remember when broadcast TV actually went off the air at midnight, and Night Court was like the first like bracket of programming that would actually air once they stopped cutting off at midnight. And I remember just staying up really, really late, and I just love that show. So thank you, Harry Anderson. Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna cry.
No, I remember
Marky Pose.
His obsession with Mel
I'm
Torme.
34.
Oh, no, you're older than me.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 27. 27.
Please keep booking
No, but
us.
people don't fucking believe you when you're just like, TV didn't used to be on 24 hours a day, and they were like,
It would just be like an Indian that would be like, tuning
or
in
like the
tomorrow
brackets,
morning
or like the
whatever.
fucking they had like the anthem going on for just 8 hours or 6 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, continue. I derailed that.
No.
with my
I was
sentimentality.
saying, I agree. Mel Torme was, remember whenever they wanted like a good bit at the very end, he'd be like, well, I guess I gotta go, and he'd leave, and then Mel Torme would come in and be like, where's Harry?
He would have just missed him every time.
Just missed him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Things were simpler then.
Yeah, those were the good old days.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Judge Reinhold.
Oh.
Dan.
Are we gonna go through all the
Did you say
judges
they
now?
Simpler?
Oh my God.
What is that wine in a can?
Shout out to our
Oh, wait, yeah, that was a
sponsor.
whole different thing. I
Simple
just read
Minds.
Arrested Development. No, it was Dan Reinhold, right?
No.
Yes.
He was not Judge
Don't do
Reinhold.
it.
No. Dan Fielding was
Hold
Dan
up for the good
Reinhold.
stuff.
Was it?
Yes, there's an episode where he delivers a kid, and you find out his real name is Reinhold.
It's not terrible.
I
told
swear
you.
You make it to faces.
on this.
Although I feel like you made less of a face of the jungle juice then.
I did, because that tasted like a really alcoholic Werther's original. That, nope.
I just noticed on the camera, props to Jody for unzipping a Superman hoodie to just show another Superman symbol under it.
Yep.
Congratulations. The Russian nesting dolls of Superman symbols.
Let's be honest.
Jody
though,
Bennett, ladies.
How many times have you seen me do that?
Most times.
Yeah.
I would say more often than not, if
Right.
you have layers on,
Yeah.
the safe assumption is that the next layer
It's a
forthwith.
Superman t-shirt.
Yeah.
And the
I have a
lady
question.
Young lady
had his
inside?
hair.
Jody,
Yeah.
is there somewhere on your body a Superman tattoo?
Yeah, of course.
Where?
What? This is like a surprise?
Please tell
Yes!
me it's not right here because I will bark.
We don't
everywhere.
exactly strip you down and examine you, dude. What? You got actual Krypton.
And it's Kryptonian.
What does it say?
There's Tracy, my wife,
Aww.
and then Eva, mom, dad, and Finny, my kids.
That
so
is
sweet.
very nerdy
Yeah.
and similar to the Green Lantern tattoo with Star Wars language writing I have on my arm.
Oh,
so
interlac.
brothers, buddy, love it, man.
Wow,
It's
those are
Arbesh.
even
I got
worse
Arbesh
than-
on my
Oh,
arm.
Armor.
Those are even worse than the one I have.
No, nothing's worse than. Go tell the people about your dual tattoo. Why don't you go ahead?
What?
I have a tramp stamp. That
This is
is,
true.
I was a band nerd and a theater nerd growing up, so I have a tramp stamp that is the comedy and tragedy masks with
my
treble
God.
clefs coming off of the
Oh my
sides.
God.
I'm seeing this later.
Oh, you can see it now.
Oh, yeah.
No, sorry.
What is it?
And that's when you hit the super chat.
When did you get it? What age?
Oh, 19?
Okay, when did you regret it?
19? No, but the thing is though, my theory with it is that I'll never not be that person, so I can't really regret it. Plus, it's on my back; I never have to look at it.
Oh, okay, I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
you're kind of
anybody that I'm
constantly
with,
running away from it.
yeah, anybody else is like, "What the hell is this?" And I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah, I've got very, very tiny tattoos, and they're just like not that cool. And I just one day
They're not
someday,
that cool.
They're
Are those
not.
we just described?
Yeah, I've got
Wow.
I've got the second star to the right over here.
Oh, little Peter Pan?
Yeah, and I've got a tiny little star on the inside because my favorite book is Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. He's the dude that wrote Maniac McGee, and it's like a fucking amazing book. So if you guys are looking for a good book to read, that's the one.
Is it
You guys
better than Maniac McGee?
Jerry Spinelli wrote Maniac McGee.
No. Is it better than Maniac McGee?
I think so.
Oh, because I love
I definitely think so.
She
I
doesn't have a
cried.
Maniac
Literally,
McGee
I
tattoo
was
now,
the
does she?
only person on a flight, on a huge, massive flight that just needed to get somewhere. And I was reading this book, finished it, burst into tears. The poor flight attendants didn't know what to do with me because they couldn't ignore me because I was literally the only person on this plane. So that was fun. I just had to be like, it's just the book. Yeah.
Going through some stuff.
Yeah. So that was fun. So, yes.
I'll write that down. I haven't read that one.
Yeah, man.
As he takes out his little fucking pencil box, it's literally a Superman.
I don't know if you guys have. What is the shot here? I'm the biggest Superman nerd you've. I do a Krypton after show.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, where are we in this after
All right.
show?
I think we should go straight into our new sponsor. We actually got a sponsor.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, it was pretty
Oh.
sweet. Can we pull up Superman turned 80, and that's a big deal. And so there's all sorts of cross promotions, and we were very lucky to get some money from these guys.
I think this is fake.
Thank you, Ghost of Eric.
Why do a bit if Eric can't ruin the bit?
Oh, that's right.
No.
It depends.
Why aren't they red?
Well, I tried to find red depends for this. I tried very hard to find red depends. And so Superman turns 80. He super shat himself.
Super shat myself.
And he goes into his depends. And as we come out of this, let's go into a little sidebar quest. I will get this right. Never.
Time for a sidebar quest.
Oh, can you grab me out of the fridge? Thank you.
You guys are on, by the way.
Why do we need a mic?
Just because.
Okay, cool. Why not?
That's how TV works.
Okay.
Hi, Valerie.
Hey.
How are you?
I feel like we should just like all of a sudden just start sliding down the wall.
Okay. It's like they're in an elevator. Oh, they're not.
So, what do we have here today, Tony Sanchez?
Are we going to start with the food or the drinks today? We usually start with the drinks.
We do. We can start with the drinks.
Okay.
Let me take that for you. I'm just going to do a tight 5. So I made sangria this time, and I had to do it ahead of time because if you've never made sangria, you have to let it sit for at least 24 hours to absorb all the alcohol and all the flavors all together, but also for the fruit that you put inside. So this one is a very simple recipe. You can use 2 bottles of a Spanish table wine, which is usually a Tempranillo. This is some random one that I got from Bevmo that was $6 a bottle. So I got 2 bottles of that. Very thrifty.
For a total
2
of
bottles of
$12.
that. You're going to add a full cup, right? Yeah, full cup of brandy. So I use Christian Brothers, also a very cheap brandy. Half a cup of triple sec. You're going to put in half a cup of simple syrup, which if you don't know how to do that, you have to, you're that impatient, you can't wait for me to finish explaining what is in this. What a monster. You're going to put in half a cup of simple syrup, which if you don't know is equal parts sugar and water boiled down to make a syrup that you just will pour in. And then you can add a cup of orange juice and a cup of pomegranate juice, and then whatever type of fruit that you want to add inside. So I just did apples and oranges to kind of keep it pretty balanced. And here we are. You serious?
Eric, the green shirt only works on a green screen. It only works on a green screen.
Things have taken a turn here at the Krypton After Show. This monster couldn't even wait until we were done. Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Well, we have some ice, you garbage human, if you want to put this in there. Jesus Christ. Yes, it is. Okay. It's very, very tasty.
Does the sangria have a punny Krypton name?
You know, why don't we call it
Seg-El?
Oh!
Hey, weighing in from the cheap seats.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have given him a thank you in the credits.
Oh.
Not for that.
Did you guys even explain who that is?
Oh, he's...
Yeah, no one introduced him.
Yeah, we'll come back and do that.
We'll come back.
Maybe.
Okay, hang on. Let's start.
Oh, taste test.
3, 2, 1, here we go.
3, 2, 1, as if I had already poured mine to try it with her.
Yeah, who are you counting down with there? No one else
Is this
had
thing
any.
on?
Oh my, is it on? I don't know. Hell. Josh, is it on?
The mic, yeah.
Okay.
Seems
cool.
on.
I don't know. They gave me alcohol.
What do you think?
Valerie, I think I'm gonna steal you away. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Come steal away. Come steal away.
Oh God, what are you
Okay,
doing?
you got to shut it down. Shut it down.
Shut it! You're gonna cut the wings.
Have you tried to?
Sorry, that really distorted me.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone. It's the last show. We don't have to be professional anymore.
No, we've also been drinking all throughout the pre-show.
Anymore?
Okay.
Great point.
Tony, what do you got over there?
I've got a lot of things.
Do we have a callback to last week's episode?
Also, can I grab a sangria?
Sure.
Someone's talking about that? Okay, just checking.
God.
Thought there was a taste test portion.
There it is.
So we are actually going to be, I'm going to teach you how to make, I think, the best snacks that we've made on this show thus far. The first ones, they're called Phantom Zone pretzels. They're right here. We had to hide them from you because I was actually destroying these right before the show. So, what you're going to need, just 5 ingredients per usual. You're just going to need your salted mini pretzels right here, your honey, some vegetable oil. You can use any kind of oil. We prefer vegetable oil. You're also going to need about 4 tablespoons of mustard. That can just be your regular yellow mustard. You can also go super fancy, get some Dijon, or right over here, we went to Trader Joe's, got some aioli garlic mustard. You are so fancy. Thank you.
It's really good.
So good. Thank you so much. And then you're also going to finish that off with some onion powder. So what you're going to need to do is preheat your oven to 275 degrees. You're going to cover a baking sheet with your fancy parchment paper that you guys got from last week's episode. I know you went ahead and did it because you guys do everything that I say. I know you do. So you're going to take...
So bossy.
I am. I'm sorry. You like it. What you're going to need to do then is make sure you've got a large bowl. You're going to mix together your oil, your honey, whatever mustard you prefer, and also your onion powder. Just go ahead and mix that up all together. You're going to add the pretzels into that mixture, okay? So you're not going to have to, like, you know, coat anything or whatever. You're just going to have to dump it all into one bowl. Once that's all good and glazed with your little concoction, what are you doing?
I was just trying to serve more. I thought more people would be drinking it.
No, because not.
Hey, creepy fingers, get out of here.
Ghost pretzels.
Once you're done going ahead and coating your pretzels with your awesome magical concoction, you're going to place that on the parchment paper, throw it in the oven for about 45 minutes. It's going to be a good thing if you go ahead and every 15 minutes kind of turn them, toss them, just to make sure that, you know, that the glaze is just evenly cooked all the way throughout. And then, especially if you're Jody, you need to go ahead and leave them out to cool. Do not put these directly into your mouth, Jody, because you will burn your tongue and the back of your throat and your trachea, Jody. So don't do that. Jody. Yes. Awesome. And they are amazing. Did you try one yet? I think you should.
Are there any nuts in this one?
God damn it.
It tastes a lot like the Snyder's one.
We also did try to go ahead, for those of you that do like nuts in your mouth, we went ahead and decided to go ahead and make some Brainiac bits. And these are the rosemary mixed
good
nuts.
name. Good name.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need 3 tablespoons of the unsalted butter.
Those don't have peanuts in them, right?
Yes. Go over there. Unsalted butter, dried crumbled rosemary, salt, cayenne pepper, and of course your 3 cups of unsalted mixed nuts. Preheat that oven to 350 degrees. Cover the baking sheet with the sheet of your fancy parchment paper. Melt your butter in a microwavable bowl. Then you're going to add all your spices, the rosemary, salt, and cayenne. Then you're going to also add the nuts. You can use any kind of nuts, whatever nuts you prefer in your mouth. Peanuts, almonds, cashews, walnuts, whatever you want. And you just need to make sure that you toss that so that way they're coated evenly. Place the nuts on the baking sheet in one even layer, and then you're just going to bake that for 10 minutes. That's it. Easy peasy, and they're done, and they're awesome. They're really fucking delicious.
Are really damn
They
good.
are. Note, Jody, if you have a nut allergy, Jody, if you cannot have nuts in your mouth, Jody, if you will die if there are nuts in your mouth, Jody, do
What if
not
you die
eat
if there's
this
not
recipe.
nuts in your mouth?
Jody, have you ever had nuts in your mouth, Jody?
Many times.
And that will be it. Thank you guys so much for joining us, for letting us come into your wherever you are every week, and let us, you know, go ahead and entertain you with food and drinks. Thank you guys so much. We've had a blast. Thank you.
Oh,
Wow.
I can't wait to get some nuts over here, right?
Can't wait to
Because there's not enough nuts.
I'm
right
trying
here.
to wrap my lips around some sweet
Sweet,
Seg-El, my
sweet
friend.
nuts. Well, you guys, this sangria is fucking delish.
Yeah, you like it?
I like the Sangria. I like the
Is anybody here
Sanglita.
allergic
I like
I
to
would
the
like
nuts?
to. I would like to try some of these nuts that I've heard so much about. These nuts.
These nuts.
All right. So,
That wasn't the cup I
oh, this is fucking good.
Yeah,
y'all.
right?
Yeah, did you try these?
Yeah, they're really good.
Oh,
Can you not have those?
seriously, try these though. These are
Try
amazing.
those.
Yeah,
I
this is good.
think you
tried
can
these
have
ones.
these, right?
No, you can't, because you're a ghost and don't have a digestive system.
That is by far the tightest segment on all of Straight After Krypton. I have to say, kudos to the
Yeah.
no part, excellent behind the scenes
Yeah,
work.
you put two.
with
You
the
put the
stuff.
women in charge of the
Excellent.
segment.
Yeah,
We'll get it
shit
done.
goes smooth. Other than Eric walking through the frame, that was by and large top to bottom a pretty tight segment. And kudos.
I would say including.
I would say, yeah.
I do want to point something out because
Yeah.
literally after the very first episode and we did the what was it, the Cryptobites
Yep.
Well, the green
with the green popcorn and it was the awesome gooiness and it was amazing and awesome. I had somebody started asking me all these food questions, and they were like, "How did you, what do you?" And I was just like, "That's not me. That's actually our
Through the magic
beautiful
of television.
food mistress. Come over here. Get in here. Get in here.
Our food mistress.
Say hi. Tell the people who you are.
Oh, I'm the food mistress.
This is Heather, everybody. She's amazing.
It's been fun. Thanks,
Well,
guys.
there
Thank
is
you
a
so
chance.
very much,
There is
and-
a chance that although Krypton is over, Crypto Bites might continue.
Fuck
in one
yes.
form
Do you
or
just
another.
keep, I like that you just want free food. So you're basically like, listen, we might stop doing this whole show,
more food?
but if you could keep making shit for us to snack on every week,
Yeah.
that'd be
I
great.
make stuff all the time. It's
Literally
just not
every
always
week
good.
she sends us, the recipe via email, and she's like, "I hope this is okay." And every week it's fucking amazing. It's awesome. I literally had to have her hide this away from me, and we only have do we have more than just what's in the small bowl?
Yes, there's some
Don't
more.
tell me that.
At some point,
But
I
thank
will.
you so much. Thank you.
At some point, I will post the recipes and everything online.
Damn it, Jody.
I just don't do that.
Right after you edit the video clips.
Right. Right after I pull those out and edit them, I gotta do that tomorrow too. Yeah.
Tony
right.
is buzzed. No,
Let's play
Tony
a
is actually
game.
sober.
Let's play
Tony
our
is
first
just,
game
this
show.
is Tony.
Play
Can we pass that down?
Passing
Can
it
we
down.
lower the Krypton sign? Is that cool so we can see the buzzers? I guess we don't need to. Who cares? Life isn't worth it.
Wait, don't you need one?
No, I'm hosting.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you guys the questions.
Life isn't worth it, he said.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. All right.
All right. Hey.
I don't get a buzzer?
No, you would
Yeah.
absolutely
You're a
do not.
ghost. You don't
You
have
just,
hands.
you're incorporeal. You couldn't even touch a buzzer.
Yeah, you couldn't touch it if you wanted to. All right.
He's non-corporeal. He's not.
He doesn't have form. He doesn't have
Yeah,
mass.
he's a
If you
phantasm.
can't, it's
a
fine. We'll
poltergeist.
Okay.
Scott, if you could please
Just hold
help
up
us.
your buzzers.
All right, so this is the.
Oh,
up
funny,
your buzzers?
mine's green. You can't see it on the screen.
Oh, is that why it wouldn't hit it when it lights up? Is that
Wait.
why I was
Light
like
up
trying
and
to
see.
test it and it wasn't working?
I
Oh,
can see a little bit.
no.
All right.
Just hold
So-
it in front of you. Hold it in front of you.
Yeah, just hold it. There you go.
Now hit it. Hey, we just.
No,
Nope,
because
that's it.
it's
Now I'm
green.
dumb. I'm really
It's like
dumb.
there's a hole, 'cause
I'm really
that's
dumb.
how it works.
The background didn't make a difference.
If it matters, you also can't tell, but there's cups in front of everyone, but they're green cups.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
It doesn't.
Okay.
Wait,
It's still
wait.
not gonna
These
work.
don't make sound. These
that's
only
good.
light up. Do
Yes,
we,
I know they light up. That's all they do.
Josh? Do we have the ones that make sound?
In a box.
Yeah,
All right,
we're
never
good.
mind.
We're good. We'll survive. Scott, you'll call it. First person to hit the button. All right, here's the rules.
Okay.
All of these are Superman-related
Oh,
questions.
fuck.
All right.
Yeah,
So
babe.
this is there's Superman throughout history. Okay.
Okay.
When I'm done with the question, when I'm done, if you ring in before I'm done, good luck. All right. When I'm just let's do this.
Okay.
All right.
Are we
Question
playing four
one.
people? Is that a thing we need to pick out?
Well, oh yeah. I'm sorry. You're playing for. Is there anyone on the boards? Even we could play.
Yeah.
some? All right, let's do it.
So Jalen, Blackwing, Jezzer. I'm gonna pick Jalen. Jalen's been super sweet to me.
Who's
so.
Blackwing?
Blackwing is pretty awesome. I enjoy him.
All right, you're Blackwing.
Cool. Cool, cool.
And Jezzer. Who else is here? I can't see who else is here.
Can I have some
Toku Kid.
No.
All right, I'm gonna ruin your game.
Yeah.
That was gonna happen anyway, but give the man some
Yeah.
pretzels. Sure. If there's a third person on,
You can play for Jezzer.
I'll play
Okay.
for Jezzer.
Okay.
Sorry,
All right.
Jezzer. Also,
So we got Blackwing, Jezzer, and
Jalen. Yeah.
This first
Are they,
section.
do they stand to win something? Do they need to know?
Yes,
this
they
at all?
will win. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so good. I'm drunk. Ugh, you can't. Oh, Jesus Christ. The remaining comic stack of our
The
free
rest of my
comics that DC
comics.
gave us.
Holy shit!
There is Superman Strength, the series.
There's a lot of good shit in there.
bunch of graphic novels. Superman Doomed.
Yep.
Oh, wait, don't
there
show
is
those DK2
Dark
because
Knight.
I want those.
Oh.
Dark Knight 3.
Sorry, there's no
Oh,
DKs.
this is actually
Oh,
great
no?
because this is one of my questions right here.
Oh.
I'm gonna,
Okay.
And I can actually show because I was looking
Okay.
for this.
Okay.
It's in book 2. If it's, anyway, all right. So let's do
Good
this.
looking shit DC gave us. All
Yeah,
right,
man,
Jezzer.
they give us a
I'll split it
ton
with
of
you
shit.
if we win. I think that's agreed. If you're on there,
All
see,
right.
just type if you agree with that because I think that's a
So
good plan.
here we go. Our first question. This is called acting assholes because I love
I love it
alliteration.
already.
In a dick move, after being paid $1 million for the role of Jor-El, Marlon Brando tried to convince director Richard Donner, it's multiple choice by the way, tried to convince Richard Donner he didn't have to show up on set, and instead, he could just voice Superman's dad because Kryptonians should look like what? You gonna pull up that picture? It is A, green bagels, B, a suitcase, or C, green squids? Go.
It was actually green bagels. It was me, right? Was that me? Did I hit it first?
Yeah.
It was green bagels, I believe.
All right, it is green bagels, but we would also have accepted an opening sequence to a Krypton anniversary.
No.
We would also have accepted green suitcase because he actually said both. He told Richard Donner.
Are you fucking serious?
Yes, Marlon Brando told Richard Donner that he should just voice Jor-El because they could look like green bagels or a green suitcase or whatever, and Richard Donner told him to go fuck himself. Okay.
So.
Question 2. Acting assholes. Once again, multiple choice. Can we bring that up instead of the opening? While filming Superman 2, which actor, this is a long one, so wait. Which actor threw Christopher Reeve against the trailer by the neck while Richard Donner screamed, "Not in the face," anywhere but the face? Was it Jack O'Halloran, who played Non, Gene Hackman, who played Lex Luthor, or Margot Kidder, who played Lois?
We got an early buzz in over here.
Tony,
it was Jack O'Halloran.
It was indeed Jack O'Halloran. Tony, I would like to point out that Donner did not stop him. Instead, he just told him to not hit Christopher Reeve in the face.
As you do when you've got Christopher Reeve's face on the line. How dare you? It's a good face.
Let's move into our next section, super sexy.
Finally!
Is this about the eye banging scene on the roof? Let's do this.
This is
somebody let me win one.
Close. All right. Question number 3, not 4. On Smallville.
Okay.
Clark Kent's heat vision is activated when what happens? Yes.
I thought it was multiple choice.
No, this one is not multiple choice.
Oh, Jesus.
It's when he gets
a boner.
aroused.
All right, let's see the video.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's when he gets like teenage hormones.
Shut up.
Oh, he's gonna check out this girl's.
You're.
Such as perspiration.
This is not a great intro to Smallville for me, then, guys.
Great intro to Smallville.
Is that Erica? What's her name? Is that actually?
No, that's not her.
Oh, it's just so random.
But watch, look, it comes in spurts.
Wow, that's not at all.
Yeah.
It's genius is what it is.
Is it?
It is genius.
Okay,
so yes.
Full disclosure, I've never seen Smallville.
Me
You
either.
are right. Okay.
I haven't. That's why I knew the answer.
All right, number 4. In the children's cartoon, Superman the Animated Series, evil Superman is rewarded by Darkseid with what? Anyone? Evil Superman.
I think it's.
Yeah.
I believe it's a sex slave of some sort, like an alien sex slave.
Yeah, it's 4 of them. Let's watch
4.
the clip.
Yeah,
he gets menage a four.
All hail King Kal!
Way to go, big guy!
This calls for a celebration.
Oh,
Go on. Savor the fruits of your victory, Kal.
Shut the fuck up.
Earned it.
Shut.
Savor
First
the
off,
fruits.
why do you look like Apocalypse?
Later, bro. It's Darkseid.
They didn't show them?
That was
a
them.
children's cartoon. They just lead them off.
Hello, you've seen. Never mind.
Okay.
No
Never
one will
mind.
give me boning.
All right.
Well.
Question 5. Superman and Wonder Woman once fucked so hard. What happened?
Oh wait.
It was.
Wait.
No,
Did you
Tony
bust
got
the
it first. Tony got it first.
Didn't they create a new crater in the moon or something?
Close.
Ooh.
Yes.
Was there an earthquake?
Yes!
Yeah!
Yes. To be clear,
Dark
it
Knight
was
Returns,
7.8 on the Richter scale. There were tidal waves. Hawaii had to be evacuated, and they cracked the Earth's crust. Thank you, Frank Miller.
Yeah.
Thank you, Frank Miller.
Real horn dog, that
Yeah.
Frank Miller.
Because that's who should really be with Superman. Let's be real. Lois
Yeah,
Lane
we
is
can
a
show
wave.
that picture if you want.
Do we have it?
Yes! It's that. And
They
then the
fucked
next...
in like the atmosphere too. So
Right,
They
and then they
fuck, like, on Earth.
land hard in the ground for
They came, and then the
then she
chill
goes,
moment after.
Superman, the Earth moved.
Shut up.
That's a real. Like, it's in here. Right
100% true.
One of those.
Seminal, unintended comic book
Okay.
moment.
Next question. This is called Canon, not Canon. Okay.
Okay.
These are. I'm just gonna give you a quick sentence, and you tell me if it happened, or it didn't happen. You ready?
Okay.
Lois Lane turned black.
Yes.
Yeah, who called
Oh,
it? Tony.
I got a buzz in, but okay, go ahead.
Yes, she did.
She
Yes.
did. Totally did.
We show the picture. In 1970,
Yes.
Superman's
Yeah.
girlfriend, Lois Lane 106,
What?
she turns black for 24 hours.
I'm
Curious
curious.
Black.
Black?
I'm
Yep.
Curious Black.
Inspired by
Yep.
Black Like Me, the famous
Yes.
novel.
And in the last panel, she's like, Superman, do you want to marry me now? And he's like, And she's like, is it 'cause I'm black? That's a real comic.
I hate.
Okay.
Oh my God.
No.
Next one, you ready? We're almost done, guys. Just a few more. Superman married Supergirl. Yes, Valerie.
I'm gonna say no.
That is true. It is not canon. He did, however, tell her that
That's
if
his
it wasn't
cousin.
illegal, he would.
He trumped her? He trumped her?
If you see, he says,
What?
it would be someone like you. We can't marry because we're cousins. Though cousins can marry in certain countries here on Earth. We're both from Krypton, where marriage of cousins was unlawful. But
She looks shocked
She
and
is.
unhappy in that panel.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Yes.
And I won't explain how I know this. New
get
Jersey is the only state in the union that does not explicitly outlaw incest
Of any sort?
of any sort.
I don't want to know how you know that.
Exactly.
Research.
All right, second to last question.
Penultimate question.
Oh, I think
Superman.
we're all tied now. Aren't we all at 2?
Well, what's the score?
There's a lot of twos.
Tony's got 2, TJ's got 3,
Oh, I
Valerie's
think I
got
had
2.
3. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. It's anyone's game.
I did. Oh, thanks, Scott.
Superman made a sex tape. Yes, Tony.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Sounds like a yes.
With Big Barda.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Oh.
with Big Barda.
Is there a panel?
1987, Action Comics 593. He makes a sex tape under mind control of a guy named Sleaze.
Josh, roll the
and
clip.
Darkseid shows it to Mr. Miracle.
As you would.
Like, shows up in his living room. He's like, hey, I got a tape. You might want to see it.
Josh, do we
Is
have
it
this
VHS?
panel?
Is it on VHS?
Yeah, you should have the panel. It's there.
Oh, please have the panel.
First off, Big Barda, you could.
Superman
Nice.
Barda
That's
sex
some new
tape.
God
No.
shit right there.
It's
yeah.
just like them in a movie set on a bed. It's
A movie set. Oh, so it's like a proper production.
Oh yeah, it's a full. There it is.
Oh, wow.
There it is.
Oh.
And he's like, "You call that acting?" Yeah, they bang.
Wow.
And then Darkseid.
I want
raw
passion
seething emotion.
here.
Yeah.
I want raw, seething emotion.
Wow.
All right.
Good job.
This is my last question.
Got it.
Last question. Is it tie between Tony and? Yeah, it is a
Tied.
tie game.
This is bullshit.
Is it a true or false again, or is it going to be?
This
what's
is
it
one
gonna
of
be
these
so I
straight
know
up.
it?
I'm just gonna give a sentence.
Okay.
Famed Superman writer and artist Kurt Swan once drew this for Penthouse Comics. Can we show the image? And as soon as it goes up, you can answer. Oh, Tony,
I don't understand
Yes.
the question.
did he draw this? Is this a
Oh,
real?
of course
Yes.
he did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck
Yeah,
you,
he
talk.
did.
Who
He did
would
it.
have drawn?
Well,
Where
Kurt-
would it have come from if he didn't draw it?
It's Kurt Swan. He was apparently mad at DC, and he decided to show Superman fucking Lois getting pregnant, Superman getting pregnant, and misusing his X-ray vision just
Right.
to prove what copyright claims are.
Yeah.
Because as you can see on the bottom,
That's
it
not
says,
Superman.
"This
yeah.
is not Superman."
Because.
Yeah.
Copyright
All right, that's our game show. Who won?
Victory, good victory.
Hey!
Tony won.
Tony won.
Hey!
Huge.
All right, so
Who were you
last-
playing for, Jalen?
Jalen.
Jalen just won a huge
Jalen's
stack
pumped.
of comics that I don't have to take
So
home.
Josh, that means he has to contact us via what? The Twitter DM or yeah.
Twitter.
So Jalen, go ahead, contact that hashtag show via DM, and we will get those comic books, the rest of my birthday comic books to you.
Yo.
Congratulations.
Yay.
Well done, you and players at home.
I mean, honestly,
Good, the bad, and the meh.
oh, we're gonna do. Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, what happens there?
Wait, is there an Adam Strange video?
We're gonna save that for the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want
job
to start?
following
Or?
your
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. I liked this episode way more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, yeah.
The pacing was quite exceptional. I looked up and it was done. That might be because I was having a great time with you guys, but there was some bad things in it. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the trial stuff moved very quickly. I thought the whole Vex machinations was wonderful, and sorry. That's it. I'll leave it there. I'll leave it
Do we
there.
just go in order?
Yeah.
So we're going through the good first, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, just the good for now.
Yeah.
Good, bad, and the meh. Yeah.
So
we
yeah,
go
we're going
then
through
we go
good
bad.
first.
I see. We go all the way down
Okay.
the line.
Yes.
Okay.
Valerie.
I mean, Nissa looked amazing as always. That and Mama Zod. I mean, that scene where she's fighting the hologram or whatever that is. Like, she's ripped. Like, she looked real good. Mima Zod. But yeah, those are probably my favorite parts of this episode.
I thought there were some good moments of showing, of sort of peeling back the onion of what some of the characters' motivations are and showing the lengths that they were willing to go to pull off the things that they want to do. There were, you know, some betrayals. There was someone that, what's his name, neck piece homie was clearly in love with, and he also engineered her death. It showed, as well as Nissa's sort of under the table behind the scenes machinations. I thought it was a good way to advance, sort of in the absence of Seg-El, all these other characters, a bit of what they want, what they're willing to do to get it, and sort of what their end game is in all their own personal drama.
Yeah, I actually my favorite my favorite character of the entire episode completely took me by surprise because it was actually Dev.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Yeah, Dev M. Yeah, just the dude who's constantly now proclaiming his love for Lyda. And before it was just sort of like awkward and weird and just like, oh, we're supposed to be together and I really dig you. But now it just, I don't know if they just finally started to write more or better for him, but it really did feel real and genuine, and now I'm actually rooting for him more than I am Seg, because Seg has, well, we'll get to how I feel about Seg yeah, but
it's not going to be in the good. It can only be in the bad or the bad.
No, and I mean, I'm loving Nissa Vex. I'm still loving Lyda and Mama's Zod, and I think that there's so much there that they still haven't gotten to, and I really wish that we're 5 episodes in and we still haven't gotten to it. So on the one hand, I'd be willing to turn back. Like, if it wasn't for the sake of this show, I'd still be tuning in just to like find out more of their relationship, their history, because we still know very relatively little about their own family history and their own, you know, specific history and relationship together. But yeah, I was really, really happy. The women of this show are just really, really holding it down and carrying it through for me.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, back to the bad, and we'll just keep it.
Yo, so listen, Seg in this episode went full Theon Greyjoy, and now I'm just like, you are the dude that's just fucking everything up and just making everything way more complicated for everybody else than it needs to be. People are gonna now have to come fucking rescue you and now fight on your behalf and advocate for you, and you're not actually driving the plot forward, you're just more of a complication. Why the fuck is it focused on him? Why is it not focused on Nissa and Lyda and even now Dev M? This was not an episode in which I've turned against him. I really have. If they were to go ahead and tried to kill him in this episode, I probably would have been like,
oh, you supported that notion.
I would not have missed him just based upon the writing so far, and especially the writing of this episode. He was definitely, for me, the worst part about the episode, which is a terrible thing to say. It's your main fucking character. What are you doing? But okay.
Wouldn't the universe collapse on itself?
Let's see what happens. We don't know that. Let's test the theory. Let's see what happens, man.
The bad for me, I think, was the opening inciting incident. I think it's always a bit of a cheat when your sort of plot gets kicked off by stumbling upon a beaten up person on the ground.
Yep.
And just sort of injecting yourself. And there's no organic way about that. It
all
just,
these major
Seg happened to be the one who
yeah.
comes across her, and that's what sets in motion his story. You're right. There's so many other things happening in the story that matter.
What is it called? In media res?
Yeah,
someone learned that in fucking writing school when they were just like, this is it. This is every answer I ever need.
Sort of Deus Ex Machina, sort of like,
yes.
We need Seg to do this, so he'll stumble across a person and drag her to wherever. So that was it got better from there, but that was not an impressive start for me.
Yeah.
We had some deaths in this, but I really feel like they need to kick up the drama still a little bit. And I was worried about Lyda, but at the same time, I feel like it would have been more powerful to have either her or somebody else of note that we've been watching this entire time, honestly, just get killed off. I feel like everything else would have a little bit more weight. Whereas of right now, it's like, there isn't even peaks and valleys. We've kind of plateaued at this point. I still feel like that.
I do wonder if some of that, like, because we all kind of thought that, and I wonder if some of that comes from the post Game of Thrones era, where now we're so trained for that when you think about that, that's happened in something like Game of Thrones it was episode 9 when Sean Bean died. you know, it's sort of taken out over time to where now we're used to that pace.
Well, I don't think it's just Game of Thrones, though. I think you look at anything that has a big cultural impact, like you look at The Walking Dead, or you look at even Hunger Games, like, was killing off people that you liked, and like, I mean, even like Lord of the Flies and stuff. Like,
sure, you need to give us time to like them. It's still only episode 5. If you hope and pray until, as Sci-Fi does, that this show goes on for season after season.
But the problem is
Light
that
of Dying is so much more impactful at the end of season 2.
But I feel like that's
than
the
it is
point.
4 hours into our story.
I just feel like we need something to happen because,
Sure,
like
raise the stakes.
you haven't been here the last few weeks, and
well, and a fix to that might have been having his parents not die in the very first episode.
Yeah, it should have been way later.
And then sprinkle that in throughout, because then at least you have some time to give a shit about them.
Yeah.
And then you can use that as a thing.
And also, like, the little girl Ona from last week, like, she didn't even make an appearance in this episode. And they, like, put so much weight on her and what was going to happen to her and her joining, like, the ranks of those, like, creepy old nuns. Like, we haven't even seen, like, she wasn't even in this at all. That's what I mean.
Where
we
was
didn't
she?
see her at all this episode.
She was not on the call sheet. So they did not pay that actress for this episode.
Jesus.
Again, conflict.
Yeah.
Well, that's my bad. Is we've spent good scenes setting up some great concepts that have not shown back up. Superman's cape, again, that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, we never even see where it is.
We did a whole scene where he's like, I invented the Phantom Zone. And you're like, ooh, what's it? Nope, not going to talk about this.
Yep.
Brainiac, that whole threat that was like, we don't know when there's none of this stuff that they've been setting up is paying off. And if you're going to make a right turn because you're like, oh, look, we need to pad it. Brainiac can't come in the next episode. We get that. But you got to give us a little something.
There should always be
there's a little sprinkle.
Right.
And they're not doing that.
As an underlying threat that elevates everything else.
Exactly.
The problem becomes when you have so much mythology, which is a shit ton of mythology that we've never dove into before. We don't have the benefit of we have some comics, we have some bits and pieces of TV shows and movies, but for most part, anything that they're introducing here is for the most part new, or is just been kind of mentioned by name in various other sources. You have to figure out elegant ways to explain that, to introduce that, so that way we're not just bogged down by exposition. Otherwise, I'm fucking reading a J.R.R. Tolkien book, and I don't want to do that. And to see that in now where we're just kind of like, this is a thing, but we've got too much to move on to. And it's like, but I don't care about moving on to the next thing because I don't know what I'm supposed to care about because we haven't really fleshed out anything, really, other than the fact that these are the L's. Okay, what does that mean? They're the L's. Like, okay, again, what does that mean? The L's. Jesus Christ, fine. Let's just go to the next scene. Why not?
Also, when in the goddamn is he going to do some science?
Yes.
Well, he's in Science Guild, right?
When?
He is the Science
When?
Guild. And there's no. Again,
would you say that science is just like a frivolous, not important thing, or would you say that it's
a high stakes game?
It's a high stakes game. I see. I do see that. So how about the math?
How about the math? Did we cover it?
No, we can go through
All right, let's
the math.
go, math. Let's go.
Right. Who the fuck are the Scythonites? Is that what they were? Scythonites? Scythonites?
I did a lot of research on these guys, and we'll get to that in the Easter egg section.
Okay.
And I don't know how to pronounce it.
Okay, cool. So we'll get to them in a little bit. Adam Strange, you're a fucking time traveler, and you are literally reduced down to what, 2-minute cameos in these episodes? Why are you here?
You stole my math. That was 100%
Why were
my
you
math.
there? Kim, where the fuck are you?
Yeah, it's just kind of at the convenient point, like we need someone to run in and tell her that Seg's out in the snow.
Yeah, and the whole thing with Dad Vex and, like, you know, the affair he's having. Usually I'm all about a terrible forbidden affair, especially if it's just like, ooh, this is scandalous and juicy.
But is it even an affair when there's no, like, Mama Vex?
We don't know that. We don't know that. And apparently there's 4 other sisters that
we've never seen.
Apparently they're just Pollyannas that have nothing to do with politics, and that's why they're just Susie homemakers that just have no interest in, a coup. Why wouldn't you be interested in a coup? It's a fucking coup. Why are you not helping?
Even Ariel had sisters, and we at least saw them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah,
a lot of their world building is talking about stuff, and then we never experience or see it. Sisters, family, Black Zero is, when they finally kidnap Seg, you're like, oh, we're going to meet Black Zero. No, I'm not Black Zero. And you're like, well, go fuck yourself.
There's so much set up.
There's a lot of that. talking about stuff and then never showing it or seeing it. And I agree. That's my meh too.
Yep.
Yeah, you can do world building. Do it.
Yeah.
Give me something.
You have a TV show. You literally have, what, 45 plus minutes to work with? Do something.
All right, move on to our live list.
Well, hang on. Can we talk about one more thing, which is I'm going to add good, bad, meh, and what the fuck. What the fuck? She has a son?
Oh, right. Yeah, that twist. Well, it happened.
Is he a time traveler? Is it a condensed agent thing? I'm asking you as like the nerd if there's anything within like the Superman comics.
No. There's nothing in the mythos like this. Okay. My guess is, you gave this to me because I'm your son in the future, and he knows about Brainiac. It explains that if he's from the future.
Okay.
I like that there's 2 time travelers.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think I like his character enough to be like, oh.
We know nothing about him. He's
just a guy.
An ominous figure in the shadows that occasionally steps into the light. So. Hit your mark.
Very poetic.
And then, like literally steps into the fucking lighting and then retreats back.
More of a cinematography thing.
Exactly. Like he had a mark, he hit it, and then got the fuck out of there. And yeah, I'm not a fan of this. I'm a fan of everything else that happened at the front end of this episode, because it was all like, nice dialogue and conversations and characters actually having real emotions and feelings. And then the minute we abandon all that to go join Seg and his ridiculousness, which I guess you're going to tell us more about, the Scythonites, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, so like...
The enthusiasm is dripping from Jody, everybody.
Jody, this makes me so sad that this is a Superman show, and you as a Superman fan is just sort of like, meh.
He doesn't know.
I don't need Superman. Like, I think the cape is. I said this in episode 1. I didn't need the cape.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know. But the stuff that's interesting about the show is not consistent. Because Daughter Zod wasn't interesting until these last 2 episodes.
True.
And now I'm all like, oh, I like her because they're suddenly writing for her.
Yeah.
And not Seg. And I don't know. It's not consistent.
I know. It just makes me sad for you because like this is your playground and this is.
I think what she's saying is this is all you have.
Yes. It's a very hollow life.
What about his good looks and charm?
Look at that
think
clapped
what they're
chin.
saying is this
Hang
is all
on.
you have.
Did we all notice that Jody has a face? Holy shit, man.
I shaved.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's been blowing up on the boards, actually. Everyone's been talking about it.
Everyone's like, holy shit,
All
Jody's
right.
face.
Jody's face.
Hey.
Moving on to the live list. We just did the good, the bad, the meh, and the what the fuck, which is the new. I think we're going to keep that.
For the next episode.
So this is our last live list. We went all out for this one. DC and Warner Brothers was really awesome, and they actually let us into their archive. We dug through some stuff, posters, unseen footage, and we picked our favorite lost pieces of footage from everything we could find. And these are the top 4 lost pieces of footage in regards to Krypton. Mm-hmm. Who starts it off?
That's me. Well, we were digging in the WB archives, and we found this very controversial piece of footage that actually predates Superman's publication by almost a decade. Mm. And it's a silent film, so the subject matter is a bit touchy in this day and age. So let's roll it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is old.
Jody, what am I looking
at? The piano.
What am I looking at? Men's only site. Oh my god, is this for real what it looks like? I've never actually watched it.
What is this?
This is the old...
The original.
You just explained
I thought
what it was.
We always do it as a
it's
bit.
the footage you dug up in the WB.
But this is the old George Reeves, right? Is this the George Reeves?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got padding like Zach Levi's Shazam suit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That took a turn. Ooh, Griffith Observatory. That's my apartment right under there. Oh, okay. All right. You hit the nail right in the head there, my friend.
And we'll never go hungry again!
This is a great Handmaid's Tale outtake. Yeah, put her in the rocket.
The baby's going in the rocket.
It's an actual rocket. Are our mics on? Holy crap.
Yeah. Oh, they did it.
That's okay, babe.
Thank
we'll
you.
make another one.
It's all good, Hester Prynne. We did it.
That's not Demi Moore.
Hey! Solid literary reference. So like, Demi Moore is the only Hester Prynne I recognize. That's some excellent. I thank shout out to WB for letting you dig through the archive.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean,
so much.
Especially because that takes place, you know, in the silent movie era, which is before
You took out
Superman
my
was
watermelon
in thing. Yes.
Oh,
He did.
Roll over there.
All right, cartoon.
Here we are.
Yeah, the next thing is actually going to be it's a very special treat. In 1973, Hanna-Barbera actually did an episode of the Super Friends that told Superman's origin on Krypton. And actually, Casey Kasem is the one who does the voice for Jor-El, and we are very lucky because we have the never-before-seen original cut of that episode. So, Josh, roll it, please.
A long, long time ago, revolving around a huge red sun, was a planet. Its name, Krypton.
This is no time for petty protocol. Krypton is doomed.
What do you propose to do about it, Jor-El?
Build giant space arcs to carry our people to another world, Earth. Even now, it might be too late. But if we
How
try...
anyone with your intelligence could suggest such a thing is beyond my understanding.
Bullshit. What the hell's going on here? Oh, you're fucking ponderous, man. Ponderous. Fucking ponderous. What the fuck am I doing? I'm not gonna say all that shit. Fuck it. Okay, I want a goddamn concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a fucking up-tempo record every time I do a goddamn death dedication. Since the last goddamn time, I want somebody to use his fucking brain to not come out of a goddamn record that is that's up tempo, and I got to talk about a fucking dog dying.
Yes, the blank stairs.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that Casey Kasem.
Yeah.
Aggressive guy.
Man had listen, that's one interpretation of Jor-El.
Absolutely.
He clearly had passion about not wanting Krypton to blow up, and I think that came out.
Yeah, or records.
Yeah. He was trying to just want to do a death dedication to all his fallen comrades on Krypton.
These are great nuts.
Shout out to Casey Kasem.
Oh my God.
I am not a moving imagery guy. I'm a still imagery guy. And I'm sort of, as I think we all know, like an international fella, a man of all nations. So I dug up some international posters. So I, time to time, Superman movies, films, serials will of course have posters in other languages get translated into that language, and sometimes the translations leave a little to be desired. Let's see one and let's talk about it. Let's pull one of these guys up from Deutschland. Oh no, sorry, no, this is going to be España. El Super Hombre, parentheses Superman. So of course, what happens here is it's literally translating to the Superman. So they're kind of doing the definite article. The Batman kind of thing. So it's a little bit of that. And of course, in the bottom, you see a little Espanol that's describing exactly what's happening in this poster. And what that translates to, if anyone took high school Spanish, you can get in there and see, you'll know that it 100% says either this man hates yellow paper or he's the Kool-Aid man. So it's kind of interesting that they're referring meta directly to what's happening on the poster. Oh, let's see the next one.
Oh my God. Is that really what it says?
It 100% says that. It's weird that you never took Spanish. I myself, of course, in both high school and college took German, which is why I can tell you that the cover of Illustrator Filmkund did, of course,
What did you call me?
We'll talk about it after the show. Their German translation, Im Netz der schwarzen Spinne, which, of course, as we know, translates to, honestly, there's a lot of fault on both sides in World War II. So that is what that means. Der schwarzen Spinne is sort of like, think about it, though. You could look at it from both ways. That's what that says. Auf Deutsch. Let's pull up the next one. Which, of course, comes from the proud, proud island of Japan. As we can tell, those symbols clearly say, super cool flying man, #1 happy blue jeans chief, is what that translates to. Big on superlatives is Japan. If you've ever eaten at like a Japanese buffet, it's usually called something like
exclamation point
#1
anywhere.
mega super buffet. They're big on the superlatives, so that's some of them in there. But this one, oh boy, this next one?
Oh man.
That
oh no.
That I
no.
translated.
No! Please don't.
Right there at the top from Spain.
No, it doesn't.
Si la computadora más potente del mundo.
No.
But it controla our Superman, which as we know translates to Big Powers Man and his funny sidekick, Chocolate Face.
God damn it.
which
I would like everyone to know that it was not Tony
as best
Sanchez.
I know, refers to the Spanish tradition of tapas, and
No, it
famously,
doesn't.
when small bites were served and passed around in the Superman 3 set,
That's not what. No.
I do believe
Nope.
that someone ate a lot of tapas and
No, they
actually got a
didn't.
little chocolate on his face.
No, they
Which
didn't.
I understand that to be what that came from.
I'm back from the bathroom. What did I miss?
Oh boy, let us run you through it again. Just kidding. Please take that off the screen now. And forget it ever happened. This, of course, is a Korean poster. Unfortunately, a North Korean poster, which translates to
Oh my
Kate
God.
Man, who is like weaker Kim Jong-un. It's the title of North Korean Superman. Slightly weaker than Dear Leader Superman, but still a pretty powerful guy. So I'm really glad that I spent a lot of time running those through the old translator.
You speak a lot of languages.
I am a multi-hyphenate, my friend.
Yeah.
What can I say?
All right. Wow. Great job.
Yeah, let's move on.
Great job.
Yes, let's.
You don't want to talk about the
No, we don't.
Yeah, you want to talk about
If you
Richard
want to
Pryor?
tweet at TJ to yell at him about his horrible
You don't even know my
translation.
Twitter handle. You couldn't even. That wouldn't matter. You couldn't say.
No. All right. Well, for me, this was a big one. This was a real big one. We wrote Richard Donner, and he actually wrote us back because he's a huge fan of the Krypton
and the most absurd thing.
And we were like, I was like, oh man, Richard Donner, you're my hero, Goonies, Superman, everything. Is there anything you could send us? And he's like, well, actually, for 4K we've been working on a new audio for the Superman movie, new Foley, new audio. We were cleaning it up. And I was like, oh man, if you could send us a scene, that'd be great. And he sent us my favorite scene in Superman, which on a personal level, this is 1,000% true. When my child was born, my little boy, this is the first thing I said to him was the lines that Jor-El says to his son, and we have it in 4K. This is
this is gonna be
pretty
impressive.
amazing.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see it.
Okay, I thought it was gonna be something horrible.
You will travel far, my little Kal-El. But we will never leave you,
Oh, I see this.
even in the face of our death. The richness of our lives shall be yours. All that I have, all that I've learned, everything I feel,
Should we roll this one back and start again?
all this and more, I bequeath to my son.
Oh, it's 3, 2, 1 menu. It's changed my life. You can just go and get any combinations of things. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. And like, you don't have to just necessarily get fries. If you want some chicken nuggets, chicken McNuggets, you can get those. And a quarter pounder, just fuck it. Fuck it. I don't care. You just can go crazy.
Baby, though.
Have a fucking apple pie. I don't know. You can just, have some coffee. Babies can't eat coffee outside.
I don't think that's the right audio. I'm pretty sure that's not what I said to my kid. Can we get out of that? Oh,
No, what is no? What is it?
Oh,
no,
it's Jor-El.
Oh, we got visitors.
It's Jor-El and someone else.
Thank you.
Jor-El, why'd you have to ruin that for everyone?
No. This is our last show. And I know we had some issues in the past, but I'd like to make you an offer you can't refuse.
Because they broke it.
I gotta make amends.
Yeah. All right. What kind of amends do you propose here? Because I gotta be honest.
All right, listen.
I didn't invite you here.
You've been good to me and giving me a part on the show. I haven't had much work lately.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to do something nice to you in return.
What's that? More movie references?
No, listen. I've grown fond of you silly freaks. You're like family. And that's what Krypton is really about. Family. Fathers and sons. Generations. Seg-El. Me. Jor-El. Jody. And his dad.
My dad?
What?
May I present the third most popular commentator on the Krypton Watch-Along. On the Krypton Watch-Along message boards. Jody's dad. And keep in mind, there's only 2 commentators.
Took a while to get to that joke. But
Yeah, we got there.
Yep.
We got there.
Is this thing on? Are we on? Is this happening? Did it start yet?
Oh, Dad! Yes! You are on. Hi. By the way, great head. I love the face. By the way, Dad, you look just like you.
All right, yeah, that's enough.
Okay.
So, Jody's dead. We were talking in the green room earlier about how proud you are of Jody.
Really? Were you talking about how proud you
Shut
are?
up!
Okay.
I never said proud. Wait, we started, right?
Yes, we
the
started,
show?
Dad.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in.
Okay, yeah. I never said anything about being proud of Jody. I said Tony. I said I want to plow Tony.
Oh God!
That's like my dad.
Hey,
yeah, that makes sense.
He'll have to get through me first.
Yeah.
He'll plow you first, I'm sure.
Absolutely not.
Hey, shut up, the man's talking.
Oh, okay.
What I said was I'm gonna pound Tony, kind of like I pound Jody with my fist, but not with my fist.
I see. Yeah.
It means his penis.
Oh.
So you never told Jody you're proud of him?
Proud of him? Fuck no. You can't tell your kids you're proud of them. You gotta be hard on your kids, or they won't ever be a success. You were hard on Superman, right? Like when you beat him with a bar of kryptonite after he used his X-ray vision to check out chicks in the high school gym. You know, so you could check him out and watch him taking dumps.
This is going great.
My son would never use his powers like that.
You're right, Eric. I mean, well, maybe your sons are more alike than I thought. They both have a line they won't cross. Your son won't abuse his powers, and my son won't use soap or shampoo or deodorant or toothpaste.
Well, I mean,
nice.
Or he won't even visit his mother's grave.
Well, wow.
Your mom's dead?
So your son lost his mother? See, that's the time to come together with your son and make sure he knows you're always there to support him.
Listen, the only way to show support is with your fists. If I beat him more, maybe he wouldn't be doing a stupid show on YouTube and not getting paid. You wouldn't know about that, because you can't even hit your kid with those ghost arms.
Hey, you listen to me, you less ambitious Ted Kaczynski. You shut the hell up about my ghost arms, or I'll hit you with a meatball and prosciutto sandwich from Gambino's Deli down on 5th and Broadway. You know, with the melted provolone and the roasted peppers.
See, Jody makes everyone violent if they deal with him long enough. He's not even my real son.
What?
Oh, yeah, that's right. You didn't know it, but your mom had an affair with a bear. And I mean like a real bear, not just a hairy dude, but like a bear from the zoo. He was vile, and he stunk, and he actually reminded me a lot of me. Every time I look at you, all I saw was my own shame and humiliation I suffered on that trip to Jellystone Park.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that we're not really?
Yeah, and he stole my picnic basket.
Wait a minute.
Right, because you're from Jellystone.
Yeah, no.
Picnic basket.
Listen, let's be honest. I called your mother's vagina a picnic.
Right, Dad. That's great. We're good.
Oh yeah. Big man showing up for Tony. Think you're tough enough to take me?
Look, Dad, first of all, Tony's great, but I have a wife, kids.
Kids.
A wife and kids. Sorry, I have 2 kids. If we could bring up that picture I have of my wife and kids. Do we have it? Guess not. Vamp.
This is a real. I have a girlfriend, but she goes to another school.
Yeah.
Oh, is she from Canada?
This is
nice.
We met on the
Here,
Prodigy message
I'll bring it up
board.
on my phone. I have it on my phone if we don't have it. Hold on.
I think I got it now.
Oh, you got it?
I think so. Yeah,
I'm hoping this is the right one, because this could go real wrong.
Yes.
This could go so wrong if it's the wrong image. Yep,
Oh, no.
it's the wrong image.
Nope.
That's not my wife and kids.
Nope.
Yeah, it is looking good, guys.
All right. I see where this is going.
Nope.
As always, you guys.
Jody, why do you have a White Sox tattoo?
Oh. All right, you guys. Thanks for coming.
That segment was worth it.
Always a pleasure when Jarrell talks.
Jody.
You're an idiot.
Yes, that is true. I am an idiot.
Jody, listen. I've had a lot of questions about you for a very long time. I no longer have any of those questions.
I understand.
So yeah,
You want to check out 2 Dumb Dinos on Instagram.
Is that because of? Do you no longer have any questions because of fictional Jody who has a bear dad, or because of real Jody who let that bit happen on the show? Both. Done.
Both.
Just making sure.
Well,
I had a career. I used to write jokes for Betty White. What am I doing here?
Didn't we all?
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah,
How far
remember
we
when
fall?
Will Arnett was doing things we would tell him to
God.
do? Remember that? That was a highlight.
Lego Batman.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Now we're showing gay porn
Happy to be
with my
there.
dad having
I'm
sex
sorry.
with
There's
Jayna.
free mustard nuts, so that's fine too.
Yeah.
This is cool.
All right,
Enjoy
so
that.
let's do some Easter. What are we doing?
I don't know.
All right.
I'm excited about these
It's
drinks.
so
All right,
late.
so there was not much translations. In fact, there were nothing new to translate. The only Easter egg I could find was Sithona. Sithona, which I do not know the pronunciation of that.
I think it's Elizabeth Banks. Is how you say it?
Yes, Elizabeth Banks Sithona was the.
You did Elizabeth Banks dirty on that comparison.
The female god, the counterpart to Rao in Superman mythology. She's the ice goddess. So whereas he is the sun and the red heat, she is white ice.
Oh, curious. Okay.
And that is pretty much it.
Where
she said in the show, she said something to the effect of, "I am the mother of Krypton."
Right.
Is that
so, you know, Rao is the father,
Right.
and she's the mother. The religion is super vague. She actually appeared in a total of 1 comic book.
I was just gonna
Ever.
ask, where
What
is this
year?
information coming from?
What year? It was 1999, the last god of Krypton.
Oh.
She got put into some other dimension that was not the Phantom Zone. She shows up on Earth and fights Superman and loses. And that's all I got for Sithona.
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
Oh, there she is.
Oh.
That is her.
Basically exactly how she looked in the show.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. 100%.
That's way more Elizabeth Banksian than what actually showed up.
Oh, what's her name from the
WWE.
No, the chick from the Marvel shit with the fucking
Rogue.
hair.
Looks
No.
like Rogue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Medusa.
about. No.
No, Medusa.
Or Medusa.
That's
the
her.
hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her. My question was, okay, so Voice of Ra is just like essentially like a prophet of Ra.
He's like a
Ra is
priest.
the deity itself,
Yeah.
right? And
Ra
this
was
chick,
the god.
Yeah.
This chick was basically the counterpart for
So
that.
in the first episode or the second episode, they say that there were many gods, and then the voice of Rao sort of combined them all into one, led by Rao. So I think there was a ton of gods. People got bored of that, and the voice of Rao just was like, meh, there's only one, and these guys are part of it.
So this is an old gods and new gods.
Yeah, it's like an old
situation.
god, New Testament,
Okay.
Old Testament type stuff.
Oh man, listen.
Yeah.
The fact that we have to do homework in order to like make sense of the show is a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah, I think the bummer is that the homework doesn't pay off.
Yeah.
What you
that
want is
too.
like a little like, and then you go, oh, there's this whole other thing there, instead of just, oh, this happened in one issue and that issue wasn't very good. And doesn't
This is a total
explain
Cloverfield
much.
situation, in my opinion. It's like, hey, if you go looking at this one random website that you can find through this one random Easter egg, and then it's like, okay, this still doesn't tell me much of anything.
Right, and it doesn't pay off what
Yeah,
happened
it's
in
just, and then, yeah, and now we're all just sitting here kind of all disappointed. I'm so sorry, Jody.
That's okay.
Strong
Predictions.
finish to the show.
Let's give a prediction and then a plug. We're almost done here, guys.
Oh, I'm starting with the prediction.
Yeah. Let's go down there.
Listen, I still think Lyda is going to end up being the mother of Jor-El. I firmly believe that. But now it just seems like children are just sort of everywhere, which was my prediction from the last couple
You're not
episodes.
wearing green anymore, Eric.
Yeah, sorry, Eric.
Still kind of a floating head. It's similar.
Kind of.
Yeah.
No, but my prediction was that babies everywhere, babies, especially if they're not just, done the old-fashioned way where they're, incubated in the body. Now they're just like hologram test tube babies that just sort of materialize out of nowhere. Then, yeah, this could be a situation where everybody has a baby and everybody now has, a vested interest because of their children who are now going to be the next generation of this shitstorm. So, yeah, that sounds really complicated. I don't know if it'll pay off at all, but I think that's where it's leaning towards, especially with the whole reverse Vader thing where it's now, I'm your son. Yeah. Fun.
My prediction for that is that guy who is Lyta's son will end up being a positive force in the sense that he'll be from a timeline where Brainiac destroyed Krypton, et cetera, and that kind of what'll happen is he'll aid them in ceasing that from happening, by which he'll sacrifice himself, and that'll erase that timeline. So Lyta could still be Jor-El's parent. She has this son who comes from the future, but from an alternate time stream. And sort of with Adam Strange and them, they'll realize, like, we've got to sew up these rifts and probably crush that whole time stream, which will make him have never existed, her have never had that son, et cetera, but save the Brainiac situation and leave her free to pound out a Jor-El in the future if she so chooses.
My prediction is that I will not watch any more of these now that this is over.
That was my prediction as well.
Aww.
I thought that was just a given.
Aww, that makes me really sad.
Yeah. It's.
Can I make a prediction?
Yeah, go for it.
I think that Seg-El is gonna have a kid with somebody.
Yeah.
And that'll be Jor-El.
Oh.
And then Jor-El.
I like the limb you're going out onto here.
Hot take.
A kid with somebody
Hot take.
else. Lara, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? And then that'll be Superman.
Oh.
And then just after the planet blows up, they're gonna launch it.
I would make sure that you write that down and mail it to yourself and don't open it, just so that if or when that happens, you have legally actionable.
The seal.
Yeah, of course. Yep, keep it. You want it registered mail.
Well, here's a likely scenario that may happen. If this actually manages to get past and actually make it to a first season finale and actually makes it to a second season finale, where do you think that's actually going to wrap up? Because there's no way they can actually span the amount of time between here and the actual destruction of Krypton, like where the original timeline where Kal-El is actually sent off towards Earth. So where do you cut this storyline off at if you're just trying to end a TV series?
If I were to do something like that, my guess would be the final scene would be Laura, or not Laura, whoever Seg-El's significant other turns out to be, saying, "I'm pregnant."
Okay, so then it's just
you don't have to get all the way to the planet exploding.
Right, you just need to get to Jor. You just need to get to Jor-El. That's it.
Okay.
I'm pregnant.
You just gotta open that
door.
He's this character you wouldn't know.
Some deep nerd shit, right?
Yeah, it's way deep. All right, some plugs and we're out.
Eric?
No, I got nothing.
I thought you don't have a
comic?
Dinos on Instagram or
I read it. I like it. Yeah, you guys can find me everywhere. The Tony Sanchez, Tony with an I, Sanchez with a Z. I'm not Italian.
You're getting cool.
I pizza pie for you.
You guys can actually also find me on my own YouTube channel, The Tony Sanchez. I'm actually going to start up a series of videos leading up to Infinity War. The first one is going to discuss whether or not the Reality Stone is still on Nowhere, where the fuck the Soul Stone is, which I also think is on Nowhere as well. So we're going to be going through all the possibilities, just because there's more than just a couple. It's not in Wakanda.
100%.
They're there because of Vision, but anywho's.
Cool.
Yes.
I'm at TJ Chambers LA on everything. You can find me there, Twitter, Instagram, etc., etc.
I'm at Valerie_Tossi on Twitter and Instagram. And if you're an LA local, come to the Broke LA Fest this weekend downtown at the Regent. It is the opposite of Coachella. So come watch us do shows.
Bay is not going to be there?
No, there will be no Bay. No, sorry. Jody?
I'm nowhere, but I was thinking of starting like an opposing YouTube channel where I discuss the Marvel Universe. Like, I was going to be like, where is the Soul Stone? Even though I really don't have a good handle on that stuff. Maybe it's in Wakanda. I didn't. Maybe I'll talk about the Calamity of Two Worlds. I don't know. Something like that.
I'd watch it.
Are you saying that you would start a comic book genre or nerd-related show and actually talk about subjects that you're not a complete expert in?
Maybe.
That would be...
I would do that.
Bonkers.
And nothing like what's been happening
Tragedy.
here for the last 2 hours.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yay!
Thank you you for all this stuff. Stay tuned. We got some weird shit coming up in the future.
Thanks, Jody, for putting it all together.
Yeah, seriously.
I wouldn't say putting it all together because that implies that it came together and it wasn't two pictures just floating here while people talked outside.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a lot more work than I ever did. I was just able to sort of show up and have, I think, the best time I've ever had on a show. So thank you so very much, and don't undercut what you did for us. So thank you.
You want me to read a tweet or a text from Bordeaux?
Sure.
Okay. He says, I can honestly say that's the best episode of Ippy and Jippy I ever seen.
Of what?
Ippy and Chimpy.
Feels like an inside joke.
Yep.
All right, thanks, guys.
Hey,
Good night.